In this one, we're going to be looking at the focus transition feature. What it does is it lets you set 2 points of focus, and at the click of a button, even while recording, it will flip between those 2 points. You'll notice in cinema that they pull focus between 2 objects all the time. It's a cool way to reveal something that's in the scene that the viewer might not have noticed before that they want to bring your attention to. Or they might be showing you what the actor is looking at. Or they might just be pulling focus between 2 actors or objects that they're interacting with. Unfortunately for pulling focus, the Panasonic lenses aren't the best. They're focused by wire, which just means that the focus ring turns forever. There are no stops at either end, and also no range given on the lens itself. It just means there's less feel when it comes to pulling focus compared to a normal manual lens. On a regular focus mechanism, when you've got stops at either end of the focal range, and also distances given on the lens itself, you can use the finger trick. The finger trick is good when you've got a focus pull to do between 2 objects in a scene. What you do is you set focus to the second object that you're going to be focusing on, and at that point you put the finger at the top of the lens, the very top in the middle. Whilst keeping your finger on the focus ring in the middle of the lens, pull focus to the first object that you want to be focused on the scene, and then hold it there. Then you're ready to roll. You've got your first object in focus, and when it's time to transition that focus, it's just a case of twisting the focus wheel whilst keeping your finger in the same place, and when it returns to the middle at the top, you know you've got focus on the second object that you set earlier. Fortunately, the GH5 and GH5S come with a brilliant feature that helps you pull focus, and I use it a lot. It's called Focus Transition. It allows you to set several focus points in camera, and then at the touch of a button it will flip between them so you don't need to rack focus yourself. It's really good for slider work or using on gimbals or on pans, because obviously it means that you don't need to be pulling focus, you can be holding something else. So here's how you use it on the GH5. You want the menu at the top, which is the movie camera M mode, and there on page 2 you'll see the option for focus transition. Click into that and you can see all the options. First of all, you've got focus pull setting, which is where you go to set your focus points. Then you've got focus transition speed, which is where you tell it how fast you want it to pull focus between the points. Then you've got focus transition rec, which tells the camera which focus position to go to when you hit record. And lastly, you've got focus transition wait. This one allows you to set a delay between hitting the button and it actually doing the focus transition. That's handy if you've got a wobbly camera setup, for example. So your first step will be to set the focus points that you want the camera to rack focus between. So clicking into position 1, you actually zoom on the camera to one of your focus points and then hit set. Here I've done it with the focus wheel on the lens itself, but when I do this for position 2 right now, you'll see that you can also tap to focus. So you can tap an area, hit the AF button, and it will focus on your area. Now set that as position 2, so the camera's got 2 points where it knows I want to rack focus between. Step 2 is to determine how fast you actually want it to pull focus. So SH, I'm presuming, stands for super high, the fastest mode, down to SL for super low, for the slowest method. I like M, it feels more natural to me. The next step is optional, and that's to determine whether you want the camera to go to position 1 or position 2 the moment you hit record. Now please note, if you want to use this, you actually have to use the little red record button. Using the shutter won't actually activate that. I'm going to leave that off for this example. Now your last step is to determine whether you want the camera to wait at all between you selecting the focus area and actually pulling that focus. I'm going to leave that off as well. So hit start and you're actually ready to go. So I would normally hit record first to get rolling, and then I would click using either the scroll wheel, the joystick, or actually touching the screen itself to flip between the 2 focus points that I've set. You can see here that it will just hit those markers every time with 100% precision, which is very difficult to do in camera, especially with a fly-by-wire focus wheel. I'm just going to back out of that and actually change up the focus transition speed just so you can see, for example, what SH will do. And as you might be expecting, it's very fast. This mode would be useful if you're on a gimbal, for example, and you're trying to shoot an action scene between 2 subjects. One of them being near and one of them being far, you'll get a really fast focus between the 2. So there are 4 caveats to this otherwise excellent feature. First of all, it doesn't really work with non-native lenses. If you try it on a Sigma 18-35, you'll notice that it doesn't really work. Your focus point that you set will be different when it goes back to it, and it will just miss focus. Secondly, it doesn't work on the Panasonic mobile app over Wi-Fi, which is no real surprise because the app is garbage. Thirdly, if you're using a zoom lens, you need to be really careful not to zoom by accident, because if you zoom a little bit, it might throw out your focus points, so when you come to pull focus to that point that you've set, it might still be out of focus. And lastly, if one of your focus points is just a little bit out, you can't manually focus just to change that. It will just go to the predefined points every time.